Hey Rosalinda. Hey Dom. Hey Aditya. Arithmo. What's up, everyone? Yeah, so what we're talking about today is this. So a lot of people tell stories from either a victim narrative, like, oh, I'm like this, and all these people are out to get me, and I prevailed and I did it anyway, right? That's not a hero's journey story. That's you just playing a victim, right? That just sounds like a sob story where you're just blaming the world. Or it also that same story also can sound like, oh, I've always been a hero. I was born a hero and I'm still a hero, right? That's also not a hero's journey story. In order to be a hero's journey story, in order for your story to be really like effective, what needs to happen is you have to start from this place where you're like this loser, or you're like the most embarrassing moment, or something you did wrong, where you're the victim, or it's something bad, and then you have to turn into a hero. You have to take responsibility for your own life, and instead of blaming everything and blaming everyone else, you have to get out of that victim mentality and become a hero, right? And this applies in also life. Like in life, what we want to do is, we like playing the victim because it's easy. Oh, woe is me, pay attention to me or whatnot. But what we want to do is we want to take responsibility for our own life and go from when you're a victim and you stay a victim, eventually you become a villain. And that's kind of the story of Joker. What happens is, oh man, this person did me wrong. Oh, it's this injustice and all of these things that are happening, right? And from that point on, what we can do is, okay, what am I going to do about it? How am I going to take responsibility for my own life from here? Hey, Franco. Or it can go the other way, where I just start blaming I hate everybody, I hate everyone, it's me against the world, and eventually you become a villain, just like what happened to Joker. So let's get started. If you're just joining now, and if you have a question for me, just put it in this little sticker tab right here. Okay, social creator, how to increase engagement on my social media page. So one of the best ways to increase engagement, other than obviously if you have content, if you have good content, that's the best way. Because for me, I'm always like, when I go on TikTok or even on Instagram or YouTube or something like that, right? And I'll post this video. I'll post the video, and all my videos exactly the same. It's like this, and then you have this I have the subtitles here, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's not working. And I'm like, maybe it's the way we're editing the video format, blah 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 blah. And then one video will just go viral, right? So that reminds me that it has nothing to do with any of those things. It has to do with the content. The reason why the videos don't perform is because the content sucks. So as long as the content sucks, it's not going to perform. So that's the number one. So where you should be spending most of your time is not figuring out, oh, what's the best way to do, what's the best way for me to use a hashtag, or what's the best hook. Instead of all of that, think about the think about the content itself. What I'm saying interesting? Is this message interesting? Is the story interesting? If it is, it's going to get engagement. Second thing is, in order for you to get engagement, you have to go give engagement. So I have actually did an entire masterclass on social media engagement, like how you should. I actually go into my Instagram, I go into my DMs, I go into my, I actually show a screenshot of how I do it. So you're gonna see exactly in the beginning days, you're gonna see exactly how I did it, because here's a lot of things that people don't know about. When you're going from 0 to 5,000 followers, that's all manual labor. Like there's no way, it doesn't matter how good your content is. It doesn't matter any of that. Instagram's not pushing out your content. Nobody's gonna share your content. Nobody's gonna see your content. You have to go out and manually engage. So I have an entire engagement strategy that I used when I first started on Instagram. And it's on for members only, for Night Owl Nation members. All the replays are there. It's called engagement strategy Monday Masterclass, and I basically go through entire strategy that I use, how I engage, how I DM people, how I collaborate with people, how I go live with people. I even show my DMs and I show exactly how I do it, like with screenshots and everything. So I highly, highly, highly suggest you go check it out if you're not if you're a member. If you're not a member, I don't know why you're not a member, but definitely go join Night Owl Nation so you can get access to that video, because it's that was a really one of the most popular masterclass that we had, where because I go there and I show you how I connected with other creators, like how what I did with to connect with Chris Do, and what I did with to connect with all these other creators, and how I got how I collab with them and all of that. So definitely go check that out. Next question. If you're joining now, if you have any questions for me, please put it in the chat here and I will answer them. Hi, Junia. Okay. Mohammed Ipoju. Don't you think playing the victim is also a way of taking responsibility, but instead of being responsible for your action, you're holding others responsible for their actions against you? That is the entire victim mentality, right? Here's the thing. The way you're a victim is not always somebody's fault, right? For example, maybe I walk out the street and I'm maybe it's my wedding day and it just starts raining. Whose fault is that? Who am I going to put that responsibility on, right? Okay, God, you made it rain. It's your fault. Take responsibility, God. Is that what you're going to do? Like, no, it doesn't work like that, right? It's not always a person. And it's not always somebody who's out to get you that's doing that, right? So you need to get out of that victim mentality, because a lot of us, we just want to blame everything else and blame everyone else and everything else and all. Okay, I'm an Asian male living in the United States, right? You know how, it's pretty shitty to be an Asian male living in the United States. Number one, if I go into a meeting, they just look at me as this quiet, obedient, math guy who's just gonna do what they tell them to do. Nobody's taking me seriously. Nobody's thinking of me as a leader, and I can sit there and can be like, oh yeah, it's everyone else. It's everyone else's fault. It's not my fault. It's all your fault. It's me against the world. All of you guys are against me, right? I can have that mentality, or I can be like, okay, I was dealt this card. I was dealt this hand, right? This poker hand. And I'm an Asian American male living in the United States. Yeah, always like that happened. Now what? What am I going to do now, right? Now I can go out and I can prove myself. I can, try to do the best I can. I can try to, still make it out there, or no, right? Like here in the United States, like no girls want to date any Asian guys. Okay? I can play the victim and I can be like, oh, it being an Asian male in America sucks. Like nobody wants to date us, and all that does is that victim narrative. Oh yeah, it's everybody's out there like fuck all these women and all of that shit. And then eventually I start hating everybody. I start resenting everyone, and that's how Unabomber became the Unabomber, right? Like once you start having that resentment, victim mentality, and you just like everybody sucks, you guys are all villains and I'm the only hero over here and I'm the only victim over here, then what's going to happen is eventually you're going to turn on them and you're going to become like Joker. Yeah, if you watch the Joker, that's a perfect example, right? If you watch the movie Joker, yeah, in the beginning of the movie he's being a victim. Now he has a choice to make. Am I going to stay victim and I'm going to just I'm just going to be like fuck the world and then go get a gun and fucking shoot this guy? Or am I going to prevail, right? And at the end of the day, truth always prevails. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point about BTS, right? If I was living in Korea, like it'll be much easier for me, right? So why don't I go? I chose to live in the United States, right? I chose to live here. So that's my own choice. I got to take responsibility for it, Okay, next. Mohammed again, I totally agree with you. I'm just trying to act as an advocate for those who played the victim on this live. whoever is playing the victim don't need any advocate. We need to smack them upside the head and tell them to wake up and stop playing the victim, because that victim mentality is not going to get you anywhere. You know what? Life sucks. I'm just going to say it. Life sucks for everyone. If you're poor, life sucks. If you're rich, life sucks for other reasons, right? If you're born in North Korea, life sucks. Like, that's what I tell myself. My dad was born 5 days after the Korean War started. And what happened was, my grandmother was pregnant, and when the war started, they migrated. Actually were living in North Korea. They migrated down to South Korea, and my dad was born in South Korea, right? Like, my whole entire life could have been changed, right? Like, every day when I'm feeling ungrateful, what's up, baby? When I'm feeling ungrateful, when I'm feeling like, oh, the world is out to get me, oh, it sucks. Why am I in this place? Like, whenever I'm thinking like that, what I do is I think about, oh, thank God I wasn't born in North Korea. Imagine I was born in North Korea and I'm living in North Korea. That would fucking suck, right? Like that. That's somebody who's a real victim, right? So yeah, I mean, whenever you feel like you're a victim, whenever you feel like the world is against you, like nothing is working out, and like, I got all these bills to pay, I don't have a job, or whatever victim narrative that you're playing, just think about this. Like, there are people out in the world that are way worse than you. The fact that you're on this Instagram live, you have internet connection, you have a phone, and you can do this, that fact alone means that you're privileged. Like, there's people out there that don't even have that, right? Think about that. Okay, next question. Christine Do. Can you provide a short example of a hero story? Okay, so I did this in my email newsletter. So if you guys are not subscribed to my newsletter, you guys are missing out huge, because every Wednesday I'm sending out these long emails that are very, very detailed, and I'm basically teaching a masterclass in that email. Okay, so if you're not on that mailing list, which is on my link in bio, you're missing out. So last night in my newsletter, I talked about this. I read a story on Twitter which went like this. Oh, when I was young, I was a weirdo, so nobody wanted to play with me. But I didn't care. I just found the other weirdos like me, and we built our own tribe. So what's the lesson? Build your own tribe, right? People think that that's I'm a victim, but I don't care, so I did it anyway, right? People think that that's a hero's journey story. No, that's a story of trauma. That's why it sounds like that person is in trauma. That's why it sounds like that person is just complaining about the world, sob story. It doesn't feel like a hero story. The way you fix that is like this. Oh, when I was young, nobody wanted to play with me. But I really, really wanted to be one of the popular kids. So I started dressing like them. I started talking like them. And I started changing everything about them. I even started making fun of my own sister so that they will accept me. But then time passed, and more and more I felt like a fraud. I felt like a fake, and it was exhausting to just keep lying all the time. So I decided to just be myself, and be my weird self. And eventually I found a tribe of other weird people like me, and we built our own tribe. You see the difference there between the first version of the story and the second version of the story? The first version of the story is like, everything is their fault, but I don't care. I did it anyway, right? That's you're basically saying, I was born a hero and I'm still a hero. It's the world that's wrong. I'm always a hero. That's basically what you're saying. And that doesn't sound like a vulnerable, hero's journey story, right? Secondly, the second one, what I'm actually doing is, oh, this is a happen. So I actually try to fake it, and I became this, became this fake person trying to please everyone and all of that. And then I had to change myself and become a hero by being okay with who I am, and just by, and not having to hang out with the cool kids or whatever it is, right? So there's an actual internal transformation happening. when you look at a story, people are so concerned with conflict resolution, set up conflict resolution like that. That's the thing that they heard. Every storyteller, every storytelling expert out there is thinking about, oh, you need conflict, right? Yeah, on the surface level, yes, you need conflict that the hero, the main character must go through, right? But on the deeper level, that hero needs to go through an internal transformation. And so if you look at all the greatest movies out there, it's like that. There's that conflict, like I always give Superbad as an example. On the surface, what's happening is it's these two high school kids trying to get laid and trying to get alcohol, and they succeed, right? On the deeper level, it has to do with these two friends that are splitting up, and at the end, they have to reconcile with that, right? There's one guy's going away to college, this guy's staying home. So there's that pressure, that underlying emotion building the whole time, and they have to go through some sort of an internal transformation. And if there's no internal, if there's something within you that didn't change, that's not a hero's journey story. That's just a story. Okay, next story. If you guys are joining in now, if you have a question for me, just go ahead and put your question in the sticker. And then if you want to vote up any questions, you can do that as well. Okay, with tea and stories, can you give an example of the villain story? The Joker is like a perfect villain story, I think. But yeah, the villain story usually goes like this, right? Let me think. So let's say I'm at work, and my boss is like, my boss is telling me to do this, or somebody's telling me to do this, and I'm like, no, that we shouldn't do it this way. We should do it this way. Like, actually, that's wrong, right? And what I can do is let's say my boss doesn't let me do it my way. I go to him and I present this thing, and the boss is like, no, that's not gonna work. We might have to do it this way, right? And then I go, oh yeah, you think I'm wrong? I think you're wrong. You know what? I'm gonna sabotage this project. If you think you're right and you think I'm wrong, let's see what happens, right? Like, what happens is when you start playing the victim narrative, like, oh yeah, boss, I'll show you, right? You actually end up turning into a villain. And this is what I see everywhere. Everywhere, whoever is playing the victim narrative, it's you. Like, are you out to get me? Blah, 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 blah. What happens is when you're a victim in your head, you're like, I'm a victim. What happens is you put this whole wall around you. You put this armor around you that says, I need to protect myself. I need to be defensive, right? Because you're a victim. I'm a victim. I'm the poor victim. So I need to put a wall against me. I need to protect myself. And in protecting yourself, what do? You go out hurting everyone, right? You come up with this narrative in your head. It's like, oh, that person's villain. That person's evil. That person's evil. So it's okay if I hurt this person. It's okay if I hurt this person, right? I had an employee at Night Owl years ago where this guy, like, literally, like, turned against me and turned my entire team, not my entire team, but like few other guys against me, like saying, Son's just going around like enjoying life, like he's just going to California in the private jet and blah 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 blah, all of that shit. And he's like, he doesn't care about us, and he did all of that, right? And that's because he got himself into this victim mentality, like, oh yeah, Son is out, like Son doesn't care about us and blah blah blah, victim mentality. So what does he do? He goes out and he just messes, like, he went out and told, like, did all of this, like, hey, we shouldn't do our work. Let's just slack off and blah blah blah. Let's not meet any deadlines, and let's just collect our paycheck, and then later on when we'll just quit. And they were forming a clique and trying to like leave all at once, and they were like doing all of that like behind my back, right? Now, what happened as a result of that is because they were missing deadlines, they were not doing their job. We're not getting paid on time, so it affects the rest of the group. Like, we need to run payroll. Like, they didn't, like, these fucking employees that work in a 9-to-5 job that are trying to sabotage that, like, oh, fuck this company, fuck my boss, I'm gonna try to sabotage it, I'm gonna slack off, like, I'm gonna do the bare minimum, I'm not gonna do any work. What you're doing is you're affecting the rest of you're fucking up the rest of the employees, right? Because if the company's not making money, what do you think the company's gonna do? They're gonna fire more people. So all these people are going to lose their job because of you. So this is how you go from a victim. When you're a victim long enough, you stay a victim long enough, eventually you become a villain. At some point, you need to realize that you're playing the victim, that you need to take responsibility for your own life, and you need to make a decision, and you need to turn into a hero. So that's an example of how a victim turns into a villain. Okay. Another good example is like, I always use Lion King as an example because if you look at Lion King, that's like the perfect victim to hero story. So what happens is a lot of times what they do is, oh, I want to tell a vulnerable story, so I'm going to talk about this tragedy that happened. I'm going to talk about this abuse that I had when I was a child. I'm going to talk about this abusive relationship that I was in. I'm going to talk about my suicidal moments. Like all you're doing there is you're just victim, 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 victim. And a lot of those things, like when you're so eager to tell those stories, it's not even relatable because, vulnerable, like it doesn't feel vulnerable unless I can feel that you don't want to tell this story. You're so ashamed. You're so, so embarrassed or whatever it is, and you don't want to tell. That's what makes it vulnerable, right? So, when Mufasa gets killed by Uncle Scar, and Simba is there like, Dad, hey, wake up, Dad, and that's like how much more of a victim can you be than your father being killed by your evil uncle, right? Like that's a victim, right? So what does he do? He runs away. He starts eating bugs with the pig and all of it. He starts living this Hakuna Matata life, and he's like, I don't care about the world. I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna enjoy life, and I'm just gonna not worry about anything, right? Like that is actually a victim mentality where he becomes a villain. How does a victim becomes a villain? Because when he grew up and when Nala came and she found him, what ends up happening, right? Nala explains to him that do you know what the fuck is going on back home? You know that your mom is getting fucking like, your mom is suffering because of your fucking uncle, and like, the whole fucking animal kingdom is dying because you're sitting here fucking playing the victim over here, right? So that's how by being the victim, he's actually being a villain because he doesn't understand that him ignoring his problem is causing all of these problems for other people, right? So that's how he's going from a victim to villain. And at some point he had to realize, like, Nala is like, wake up Simba, like go do your job. And he had to go back and he had to, face he has to face his fear of, facing Uncle Scar, and he needs to take the kingdom back, right? That's how you become a hero. Make the decision to do that. Okay. Next question is from Christine Dole again. I struggle with this because I really am bland and I don't have much of a victim or hero story. If you're not in Night Owl Nation, I highly, highly, highly suggest you join Night Owl Nation. And if you're not in a small group, I highly, highly, highly suggest you join a small group because I've been going into small groups this week and kind of talking to people, and so many people feel exactly the same way you feel. Like, it's when you're in Night Owl Nation for 5-6 weeks, some of you guys been here with us for a year, so, like at all different levels. You stay in Night Owl Nation long enough, we'll fucking break down your ego. We'll take off that mask. We'll break down your identity. We'll break down your ego, and you're gonna get to a place where you're gonna be so self-aware that you're going to realize how you're playing a victim. You're going to realize how you're playing a villain. You're going to realize how you're becoming a hero. You're going to realize all of that thing because that's what happens, right? Whenever new person joins Night Owl Nation or new small group members, yeah, everybody says that, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. They don't want to be vulnerable. It's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. No, that wasn't my fault. Like, that's how they all come out. And that's the reason, okay, how's that working out for you? How's that storytelling working out for you so far? Are people enjoying your stories? Probably not. And you stay in Night Owl long enough, after a few weeks, for some people it might be a few months, they get this, something clicks in there. It's like, oh, that's what I was doing wrong. This is how the storytelling is. And every one of those storytelling classes, even the one that I did for Domestica, every one of those storytelling classes where they're like, oh, follow this 7-step formula, oh, follow this three-step framework, all of those things, that's all fucking bullshit. Every one of them is fucking bullshit. That's why it's either A, everyone follows the same exact formula. So every story sounds like this. Oh yeah, I wanted to be successful. So I got this like successful job as a banker or lawyer, blah, 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 but I wasn't happy. I felt like I was stuck. So eventually I had to change, and I walked into my boss's office and I quit my job and I became an entrepreneur and I started making like, that sounds like every fucking other story out there. Some cliche, boring ass fucking same old story out there, right? Why does it sound like that? Because you don't know how to storytell. All you know how is look at this 7-step framework, force some full bullshit into there, and that's not a story. Like you don't write stories or you don't tell stories by fucking. It's not like a fucking color by number. Storytelling is not a color by number. It's kind of like the example that I give is people who tell stories like that, people who use story brand to like, okay, there's a character, who has a problem, who meets a guide and has a solution, all of that shit, or the setup, conflict resolution, all of that framework, hero's journey framework bullshit, like that. That's why every story sounds the same. That's why that is like using a framework like that to write your hero's journey story is equivalent to learning how to play one song, learning how to play these chords for this one song on guitar. Yeah, you know how to play one song. That doesn't mean you know how to play guitar, right? Just because you fit it into this framework, that just means you barely learned how to just play one song, but you don't know how to tell stories. That's exactly what's happening. That's why I say every storytelling course out there, every storytelling framework out there, every one of those things are all completely bullshit. That's seven step framework for storytelling is like me going to you and be like, okay, I'm gonna give you the 7-step framework for learning how to ride a bicycle. How? Like you think I'm gonna give you some step-by-step framework and now you know how to ride a bike? No. The only way to ride a bicycle is to go out there, get on a fucking bicycle, and start pedaling and fall a few times. Oh, and then try. Oh, I slow down. Oh, if I slow down, I start to fall. Oh, I need to speed up a little bit. Okay, I need a little bit more pressure here. And you try it out. You feel it out, and that's how you learn how to ride a bike, through practice. And that's exactly what we're doing at Night Owl Nation. You don't come in and overnight you're gonna be like, okay, here's the framework. Boom, 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 boom. You're done. That's not what happens. Okay, Christine. Admin, I am avoiding Night Owl because I don't want to do the work. You and everyone else, my friend. I would say, you know what it is? What I notice is that first 4 or 5 weeks of Night Owl Nation, people find it tough. And it's because, if you guys ever been to like snowboarding, or when you learn how to ride a bicycle, or when you play guitar, when you learn, or learning a new language, right? That beginning part of a learning process fucking sucks. When you go ride a snowboard, when you're riding a snowboard, you can only fall 2 ways. You can either fall on your knees or you can fall on your ass. Those are the only 2 ways. So when you first go snowboarding and you're falling, and you get up and you fall, you get up and you fall, you do that for 2 hours, your knees and your ass is going to be bruised and it's going to suck. You're going to want to give up. When you start learning guitar, your fingers are going to hurt. It's going to be so hard. I don't get it. When you learn how to learn it, you go to a new country, try to learn a new language, it's going to be frustrating. And at some point, you're going to be like, fuck this. Like, this is so frustrating. And you're going to give up. And that's the reason why most people can't learn shit. Because they give up before things starts clicking. But anyone who's learned how to ride a bike knows that there's this moment. There's this moment where like you keep falling. Oh, it's like, I don't get it. And then there's this one click moment where like, oh shit, I get it now. And that's when it starts to being fun, right? When you snowboard and that first time you're like, you carve and you carve again, you're like, oh shit, I get it now. And that's when it starts to become fun. When you start, learning a new language, same thing. When you start playing a guitar, there's everything that you learn. There's this one moment. Sometimes it might be hours, sometimes it might be weeks, sometimes it might be months. But there's a moment where everything just clicks and you're like, oh, I get it. And that's what happens at Night Owl Nation. First few weeks, people are like, oh, this Sun's making me do this. I don't get it. This is so confusing, blah, blah, blah. But then you just, come from a beginner's mind. I always say be a beginner. Don't try to force don't try to jump to conclusions or anything like that. Come from a beginner's mind and just do the work. Trust the process. And a few weeks into it, there's going to be this moment. It happens to everyone at Night Owl Nation. There's going to be this moment at some point where you're like, oh my gosh, I get it now. I finally get it. And that's when it starts to become fun. And when it starts to become fun, I don't even have to tell you to come to small group meeting. I don't have to tell you to join that. I don't have to tell you to join Sunday service. You're going to want to come every week just because it's so fun and you got it now. Like right now, the reason why it's not fun, the reason why you think it's work is because it's not fun, right? Like people always tell me this shit like, oh, no, son, I really want to join Night Owl Nation, but I really don't. I have too much going on right now. I don't have time. I'm too busy right now. Blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. Because Night Owl Nation, at minimum, only takes 2 to 3 hours a week. You just have to go to Sunday service and you have to go to your small group meeting to practice. That's all it takes, 2-3 hours a week. You fucking telling me you can't spend 2-3 hours a week? I'm probably the busiest person fucking in here and I can make 2-3 hours a week. Stop watching Netflix. Stop fucking doing bullshit. Stop fucking browsing the web for no reason. Cut out all this fucking bullshit that you're doing, all these excuses that you're using in your life, and I guarantee you can easily make 2-3 hours a week, okay? How do you have time to fucking go out to dinner? How do you have time to go out to the movies? How do you have time to watch Netflix? How do you have time to eat 3 times a day? How do you have time to eat? You're so busy, how do you have time, right? Whenever you say, I don't have time, all you're doing is you're saying, I don't have, I don't want to make time. That's all you're saying. Because you do shit every day that you make time for if it's important enough, right? So I guess my question to you, back to you, will be how important is it for you to learn how to be a great storyteller? How important is it for you to learn how to be a great communicator? How important is it, for me, because I know how to tell stories, because I know how to connect the dots, because I know how to see those dots and connect it and make those connections, I can go into literally every meeting. I can walk into any meeting. I can 100% guarantee I can sell you. And it's because I know how to do that thing. That's how valuable, storytelling and communication skill is literally probably the most valuable skill in the world. You know why? Because it doesn't matter if you're a doctor. You can be the best doctor in the world. No patient is coming to you if you don't know how to sell yourself. You can be the best fucking designer in the world. You're not going to get clients unless you know how to sell yourself. You have to make people understand why hiring you is so important. You have to make people understand why they need to buy your product. And if you can't communicate that, everything else is worthless. Okay. Another question from with tea and stories. What's up, Danny? What book do you suggest to learn about storytelling format? I am a beginner. So I don't recommend, I used to recommend books, but now I don't recommend any books anymore because, so many people that I know read those fucking books. There's a book called Story by Robert McKee. That's where the setup conflict resolution comes from. Obviously, there's the Story Brand, the seven part framework. There's one book that I like is Chuck Palahniuk's. It's called Consider This. But the reason why I don't recommend any of those books, because millions of people have read those fucking books. 99% of them have no fucking clue how to tell a story. So obviously the book's not doing it. That's like you asking me, son, can you recommend me a book that's gonna help me learn how to ride a bicycle? No, I can't. The best way for you to learn how to ride a bicycle is to get on a fucking bike and ride a bicycle. That's literally the only way you can learn how to ride a bicycle. That's why before you buy any book, before you read any book on storytelling, I highly, highly, highly suggest you join Night Owl Nation. Because as of now, as of today, the only place in the world that I can think of that can actually teach you storytelling, that can actually make you better in storytelling, is Night Owl Nation. I can't think of one fucking book. I can't think of one fucking course. I can't think of one fucking framework or workshop that you can do that's gonna make you a better framework. Go take all those fucking storytelling classes and master class. Why aren't those million people that's taking those classes all fucking growing their Instagram like crazy? Why aren't they fucking amazing storyteller? What, like, if those fucking storytelling books and all those fucking like, think about, like, you go on Twitter, you go on fucking Instagram, and you go on YouTube. How many fucking creators are out there talking about storytelling? How many of them are, it's like, I'm gonna teach you storytelling. I'm a storyteller. Remember, storytelling is like the most fucking cliche word right now. Just like fucking authenticity. Like, oh, I'm an authenticity coach. Like, I'm a storyteller. Like, no, all of that is so cliche right now. With all those people that are talking about storytelling, why aren't there so many good storytellers out there? When's the last time you saw like a brand story, or you saw something like that and you were like, oh wow, great story? When's the last time you saw that? It's because none of them actually know how to teach storytelling. Because, like I said, teaching storytelling is like riding how to ride a bicycle. The only way you're gonna do it is to get on that bike and learn and practice. And that's exactly what Night Owl Nation is. Night Owl Nation is not a course. It's a community where we get together every week. 6 people come together in a Zoom room, and we practice. You tell a story. You tell a story and be like, oh shit, that reminds me of this story that happened to me last week. And then I tell my story. And then, oh, that reminds me of, somebody else will be like, oh, that reminds me of. And you know why that's so important? Let's say you told a story. Okay, Rohit, I'll get to your question in a second. Let's say you tell a story, right? And as soon as you tell a story, people are like, okay. That means it's a bad story. If you tell a good story, if you really tell a relatable, great story, what happens is, as soon as you tell that story, somebody who's listening can be like, oh my gosh, that's so true. You know what? That happened to me like a couple years ago. You know, that exact same thing happened to me. Blah, blah, blah. Like, they're going to want to share their version of the story. If that's not happening, that means your story sucks. Because the whole point of a story is this, right? If, let's say I'm selling a course, I'm selling whatever product, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? And I'm trying to teach you something through a relatable story, right? When I tell a story, when I tell like a super relatable story, and all of a sudden somebody in the audience, or the people in the audience goes like, oh my gosh, that's so true. I never thought of it that way. But you know what? 2 years ago, I did the same thing, and blah, 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 blah. They start doing that. You know what happens? Because they've never heard that before. They never heard anyone say it until I said it. And once I say it, they're going to be like, holy shit, that's true. I thought I was the only one that was thinking that way, but you also think that way. And that immediately creates this special bond, right? Oh, we're the only 2 people in the world that knows this secret. Everybody else in the world thinks this way, but we think differently, right? And that's what creates the bond, and that's what creates super fans. That's what creates like somebody who wants to buy your product, because they're like, okay, all these other influencers out there, all these other teachers out there, they're all just fucking telling some bullshit, cliche things like that. That I don't know. Okay, it worked for you. That doesn't mean it's not going to work for me. Okay, I don't believe you. But then as soon as somebody says something that clicks in your head, it's like, holy shit. Like, this person is just like me. They went through the same thing like me. Then all of a sudden they're like, if it worked for him, then I bet you it's going to work for me too, because we're exactly alike. That's the beauty of storytelling. Okay, Rohit. Target audience for my luxury real estate client doesn't use social media. What might be a solution? It doesn't matter if your target audience doesn't use social media, right? Here's the thing, right? Do you think that if let's say you're a wedding photographer, right? Do you think brides are going around on Instagram following wedding photographers? No. What's happening is, whenever you're in any kind of luxury real estate, whenever you're selling any kind of high-end products, where you're saying, let's say you're an agency and you're selling agency services, right? Whenever you're selling like high-ticket products, those people are not going on fucking Google. They're not going to spend $50,000 on Google. They're not going to spend $5 million on Google. They're not going to spend even $5,000 by searching for some random person on Google, or they're not going to go on social media, follow some random fucking person and spend $5,000 or $5 million. That's not what's happening. People that are buying high ticket products like that, they're going to ask their friends, hey, you know a great web designer? Hey, you know a great real estate agent? Hey, you know this? You know. So what social media is doing is you're making connections with all those middleman people. So what's going to happen is, let's say I'm a designer. Let's say you're a real estate agent, right? and you go out and you start putting out real estate information blah, blah, about this neighborhood, blah, blah, then what's happening is all the people in that neighborhood that are in real estate business, maybe mortgage brokers, maybe interior designer, all these other people that are in the real estate business, in the real estate world, they're going to start following you. They're going to start, and then you build relationship with them. Let's say you have 5,000 people in the real estate world in your area that are following you and they all know you and you built this relationship. Do you think those 5,000 people have access to clients? Do you think an interior designer has somebody that's like, hey, you know a good real estate agent? Do you think a mortgage broker, who has like 100 clients and be like, hey, I need to sell my house. Do you know a real estate? Yes, that's what's happening. So that's why you need to fucking go out there and network with, if you're any kind of B2B business, if you're like selling any kind of high ticket products or anything like that, your audience is not the customers. Most likely, your customers are not following you. Brides are not following wedding decorators. Brides are not following wedding photographers. Other photographers are, okay? People who are looking to buy $1 million house, $5 million house are not following real estate agent, okay? So what you need to do, it's kind of like a good example I can give is if you're an actor, right? Let's say you're an actor, you're a singer, right? You're a celebrity. Your followers are your fans, right? But the person that you should be networking with, the person, your customers, your end audience are the fans. But who you really want to please are producers, directors, record labels. Those are the people that you need to build relationships with. So if you're in that business, use social media to build relationship with those people because your end customers are never going to follow you. That's just not how it works. Like CEOs are not following marketing agencies. CEOs are not rich people are not following real estate agents. That's not it doesn't happen. Okay, next, Miguel. How can I join Night Owl Nation? Go to my website. There's a link. If you go to my link in bio, there's a little link for Night Owl Nation. Go there and see casting directors. If you're an actor, you should be networking with casting directors, not your fans. Okay, your casting directors are the ones that are gonna make you money. Okay. Next. Social creator again. I am posting content. By the way, if anybody's just joining us and you have a question for me that you want me to answer, just go ahead and put it in the question tab there. Okay. I am posting content related to customer buying product review. Customer buying product review. Can you elaborate on that on the chat? But I am not getting engagement. I am posting content related to customer buying product review. I don't know what that means. What does it mean by customer buying product review? Well, anyway, you know what? I think this is what you're saying, right? I think you're just putting testimonials up there, right? Here's the thing. You know how fucking off-putting it is? You know how like as soon as I go, if I come across an Instagram account, if I go into a social media account, and right away I see like offer, hey, join this masterclass, hey, buy this course, hey, here are some testimonials. That's the biggest fucking turnoff. You think I'm gonna fucking follow? Like, you think I'm gonna follow an advertising page? You think I'm turning on a TV to watch commercials? No. What I want is content. So what I want is content. So unless you're giving me the actual content that I want to see, I'm most likely not going to follow you. So don't think of it as like, people use their Instagram feed, their Twitter feed or their TikTok feed or YouTube feed, whatever it is. They use the space, like think about it. Like if you're watching TV, right? And there's a half an hour spot, there's an hour spot, right? There's a spot for the actual content, and then there's spots for the commercials, right? People are using the fucking valuable space. The feed is the content spot. And so and you're wasting your fucking content. These are the spots, your feed is the spots that you can use to get to get audience. This is how you get the audience. Like you have to attract the audience. If the audience likes your content enough, like I don't fucking advertise Night Owl Nation here and there, blah, 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 everywhere, right? So how do I get members? If they love your content, they resonate with you, they become your audience. They're gonna find a way to. They're gonna figure it out. They're gonna go to your link in bio. They're gonna go to your website and they're gonna fucking buy. You don't have to use valuable content space, your feed space, to fucking advertise. Then what's happening is you could have gotten 10,000 followers, and from those 10,000 followers, they find you on your link in bio and sold. But because all you did was put advertisement, your offer, testimonial. You know what ends up happening? Instead of 10,000 followers, you only have 1,000 followers, and you're basically literally saying, okay, just think about it, right? Let's say you're going on TV and you're flipping through channels, and there's like, oh, here's a good movie, oh, here's a TV show, boom, blah. And then there's a channel where 24/7 all they're playing is just commercial. Do you think you're gonna watch that channel? And that's exactly what you're doing when you're just putting out nothing but promo on your feed. And it's such a big turnoff. Like, because to me it's so obvious. Like whenever I go to a page like that where I see offer, blah, 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 with no content or like barely any content, you know what that feels like? That feels like I'm fucking being money. Like this person is out to get me. This person, all they fucking care about is my money. That's the only thing that this person cares about is my money. So you think I'm gonna follow you? You think I'm gonna follow a page of advertisement? Fuck no. So like, I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't understand the thinking process behind that. You yourself don't fucking follow other accounts where all they're doing is advertisement. So what makes you think that other people are gonna follow your account if all you're putting on your feed is advertisement? Like, I just don't get it. It's not rocket science. Okay. Nanda Rafael. Does my friendship affect how I think to be a successful person? That's a good question. Here's the thing, right? You know, some people say, "Oh yeah, you gotta throw away your old friends and and you gotta upgrade your friends, right? Like you're you're the average of 5 people around you." Like people say that shit. I think people take that shit way too seriously, right? Like, don't abandon your friends, right? If you have childhood friends, if you have friends from a long time, don't abandon that. Like, I feel like if you do that, if you abandon your old friends so you can go hang out with your new rich friends, new more successful friends, like to me that kind of shows me the character, the type of person you are. It's just it's disgusting, it's inauthentic, and I'm not saying that, always keep, if you have a loser friend that's constantly dragging you down, right? Like, let's say you have a friend where every time you jump on a call with that person, every time you hang out with them, all they're talking about is complaining, playing the victim, and just negative energy all the time. They're all constantly telling you about all their fucking relationship problems, their money problems, blah, blah, blah. Like, at some point, like, or let's say they're addicted to drugs, or they're not doing anything with their life. At some point, like, every human gotta live their own life, right? You just gotta cut that person loose and be like, I did the best for you, but at the end of the day, you gotta live your own life. I can bring the horse to a water, but I can't make him drink it, right? But the thing is, I don't think you should abandon your old friends. I still keep in touch with like friends from college and things like that, and a lot of them are not in business, or they're not like successful business, but they're still very close friends. And I just feel like keeping those old friends keeps you humble. It keeps you. It reminds you of where you come from, right? What your roots are, what your origins are. Like, I see so many people in the entrepreneur world where they think they're the shit. They're like, flying first class, fancy restaurants, fancy hotels, and I'm like, oh, I only want to talk about this kind of things. Like, I want to talk about like the upper class shit. Like, I mean, to me, that's no different than like the Mean Girls thing, right? Like, trying to like like betraying myself, betraying my authentic self, and just like, you know, trying to fit in with the mean girls. Like that's what it seems like. At the end of the day, if you're really successful, you don't have to do that. Okay, Sunil IG. I'm starting my own business. Any pointers that I should keep in mind regarding designing? I mean, to me, I actually think designs don't matter. Some of the highest paid designers out there actually don't even have a website. All they have is like a Dribbble page, or all they have is like a Behance page. So, you know what? Like, my business got to a point where I literally, like, my clients don't even know my portfolio. They don't know what clients I've worked with. They don't know what awards I've won. They have never even looked at my, like, here's the thing. Most people get so fucking carried away in this, like, oh, my logo, my design, my brand, and all of that. You think that billionaire CEOs give a shit about that? You think that these CMOs and these big marketing companies, you think they give a shit about that? You think they're going on Google and be like, okay, web design company, going through the website and be like, oh, this website has a nice, you know who does that? Small business owners. You know who does that? Freelancers, solopreneurs. It's the bottom feeders, the unsuccessful people that are just starting out are the ones that go on Google and social media and go on and click through this shit and be like, they're all picky about, oh, yeah, and then they negotiate. Like, those are the worst fucking clients you want, okay? The type of clients that you want that are playing at a different level, this is what they do. Let's say I'm a CEO, CMO, a big brand. I have a big budget. I have $100,000 budget for a website. You know what I'm doing? I'm calling my friend, right? I'm calling. Okay, hey Jay Shetty. Oh, hey Tony Robbins. Oh, hey Oprah. Oh, hey Obama. Oh, who did your website? I love your website. Who can you introduce me to your web designer? This is how it works. This is at this level. That's how it operates. These guys up here are not going on fucking looking for web designers or agencies on fucking Google. Okay, they're going to other entrepreneurs, other business owners, other successful people that they trust. Okay, so in order for you to get in there, you have to blow away one of them, and they're gonna introduce to this other person, and they're gonna introduce it, and that's how it works. So at the end of the day, if you're starting a business, the first and foremost primary thing that you should be focused on, where you should be spending 80% of your energy on, is doing the best work possible. If you're creating an online course, spend 80% of your energy and time on creating a fucking kick-ass course, okay? What most people do is they spend like a week making a course, and they spend like 99% of the time fucking sell. Like, okay, keep selling your fucking garbage course. You know what's gonna happen? You're just burning your business down to the ground. That's why a lot of course creators, they do marketing and then eventually they fall off, because at some point people realize, oh, that course is that course is the same course that I've ever seen. And that's what happens. You're killing your brand over time. The only way you can really build a long-term sustainable business is by making awesome product, like making awesome, like providing awesome service. If you go out there and you just blow away your clients, do awesome work for clients, trust me, like the business will come to you. I always say this, every time, like, one of my friend, like, she's like she's actually an author. She just wrote a book, and she's like pretty famous in this in the marketing world. She was looking for a video editor, and I was going around. I was like, oh, like, who can do this work, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't find anyone. The ones that I really trust, the video editors that I think are awesome, that I trust, I reached out to all of them. You know what? Guess what they said? Oh no, I'm backed up for the next 6 months. Oh, my bandwidth is full for the next 6 months. They're all fucking busy. They're all turning away clients. I couldn't, like, I reached out to like 5 video editors, and not a single one of them was like, oh yeah, I'm free, I can take it right now. No, every single one of them were like, oh, I can't take on any work right now. Why do you think that is? What do you think that is? Because any good video editors I know, any good designers I know, any good copywriters I know, They have zero fucking problem getting clients. They're backed up for the next 6 months. Like, they're like, no, son, I can't take on any clients for the next 6 months, right? You know who are like, oh, yeah, son, I need a client right now. Oh, okay, I can take it on. You know who are like that? The ones that suck. There's a reason why they're not getting clients, because they suck. The ones that are actually good have zero fucking problem getting clients. They're actually so busy that they're turning away clients. So if you really, really want to, succeed as a freelancer, succeed as a service provider, just be awesome at what you do. That's all you got to do. Then the business, then you do that for like guaranteed. Just keep doing amazing work for 2 years. In 2 years, you're going to be having the opposite problem. The problem that you're going to have is like, son, I have too many clients. Like, do you know anyone that I can refer to? Because I have so many clients. I need to find talent, right? The problem right now is not lack of clients. The problem right now is lack of good talent. That's the problem. So if you can, the way you can fix that is become a good talent. Don't be a shitty talent. Okay, I'm just gonna do. Okay, let's do some quick fire. Okay. Nenik Kufu. Do you have a program to learn storytelling before joining Night Owl Nation? Go to practicestorytelling.com. If you go to practicestorytelling.com, you can that's my 5-day challenge. That's gonna give you some good idea. But you know what? There's a reason why I made Night Owl Nation $5. Like, what program do you need to learn? Once you join Night Owl, okay, here's what I'll say. If you guys are on the verge of joining Night Owl Nation, first of all, it's fucking $5, okay? Like, it's less than fucking Netflix, right? What other things that you spend $5 a month on? It's literally nothing. And I did it like that because I want to prove to you, I want to prove to everybody that you don't need no fucking high-end, high-ticket fucking the things that we're teaching at Night Owl Nation, the things that people are learning at Night Owl Nation is worth 10 times more than some fucking $5,000 course out there. And I'm selling it for $5, okay? So fucking go join $5. Fucking, and as soon as you join, what we have is I have a class that I did two days ago, which is kind of like the best version of this class. It's called Storytelling Basics. It's 1 hour long. It's 1 hour with 40 minutes of Q&A at the end. But if you watch this Storytelling Basics 1 hour masterclass, that would have been the best fucking class that you've ever seen in storytelling ever. Okay? And you can get that shit for $5. Why the fuck would you not do that? Like, I don't understand. Like, literally. Like, literally that 1 hour Storytelling Basics class alone by itself is worth like $3,000 to me. Like, that's how fucking good it is. And it's fucking $5 a month. So just go join and just do it. Like, we also have like onboarding. As soon as you join, we have an onboarding team. So you have like people are gonna onboard you. We have like a welcoming team. We have the Storytelling Basics. People are gonna help you through getting into a big group. It's not like guys. It's not like some other groups, other fucking $30, $40 a month membership group where you join like thinking that, oh, this is going to be amazing, and you go in, they just fucking throw you in some Facebook group, or they just fucking throw you some Slack channel or some fucking Discord server, and they're like, okay, go. Like, that's not how we work, okay? When you join Night Owl Nation, there's going to be actual human beings guiding you through things. There's going to be actual human beings that you can practice with. There's going to be actual human beings that are going to answer your questions. Like, there's no fucking other programs in the world like it, okay? So, like, every single one of you, like every last one of you, there's 43 people in here. If not every single one of you have joined Night Owl Nation, you guys are fucking missing out big time, okay? Okay, next question. Delphi Hornstra. What advice would you give to an industrial designer student wanting to start their career? And what are the first steps to market yourself as a brand? If you're just starting out as a designer, don't fucking worry about marketing. Don't worry about any of that shit. Worry about creating the best fucking portfolio in the world, okay? So go do projects for free. Go find clients for free. Just go find clients or other companies out there that are willing to give you opportunity for free, and then do the most amazing work that you can possibly do. And then do another one that's most amazing. Especially if you're a student and you just build up a fucking amazing portfolio. That's how I actually started. I started basically Night Owl with a portfolio of 5 websites that I done for like either free or almost no money. And those 5 websites that I did on my shitty ass MacBook at the time, that I did for free or like for $1,000 or something like that, is what launched my fucking business. So trust me, if you're starting out, go hone your skill. Go become the best designer. Go build an amazing portfolio. Son, did you negotiate to have your name and link on Gabby's website footer? So for all of our clients in our contract, it actually says in our contract that they have to put our link on the bottom. And the thing is, our clients don't even care. You see, the thing is like, when a client hires you and they're like, oh, no, son, I don't want that. I don't want you to put your link on my website. You know what that means? That means that client doesn't like you. If you can get the client to fucking fall in love with you, like when we work with clients, it's not like, most freelancers, most agencies, they have this kind of this conflict relationship. Here's the client, here's the freelancer, vendor, and they have this conflict. It's like, oh, I'm going to try to get the most out of you, and I want to try to get the most out of you. They have this kind of relationship, right? That's a fucked up relationship. When you actually have a good relationship with client, where the client loves you, the client wants to help you, they want to support you. Every one of our clients, when I ask, I just put the link there. You know what they say? You know what? Sometimes I forget to put the link there, right? And the client will come and say, son, I want you to put your link there. I want to help you. I want to support you. So they actually want me to put the link there. That's the kind of relationship you want. And you have no fucking idea how many business we got just because we have our link on Gabby's website, just because we have our link on Jay Shetty's website, just because we have because as soon as somebody comes to Jay Shetty's website, and think about it, right? Jay Shetty's website gets millions of fucking visits, right? So think about it. Think about how many other entrepreneurs are going to Jay Shetty's website and they're like, oh, wow, this website is so amazing. I want a website like this. And they go in the bottom and they see our link there. That's a done sale. That's such an, that. This is why we're constantly turning away business all the time. So, yeah. And that's why, that's not by force. I'm not forcing our clients to put our link there. Our clients are actually going out of their way to tell us to put their link there. They want to help us. And like I said, if you're in client service business, number 1, become fucking dope at what you do. And number 2, provide dope service to a point where this client can just, I want you to provide such a good service that at the end of your project, the client's going to be like, I trust you so much. I trust you 100%. I trust you with my newborn baby. That's how much trust I want you to gain from your clients. Think about it. If you can gain that kind of trust from your clients, you just fucking serve them, and you can get that trust. Trust me, your business will fucking flourish. Okay, quick. Christine, though, damn it, you got me this time. Just join Night Owl Nation. Woo! Okay, the rest of you, go follow. Go join Night Owl Nation. And if you join Night Owl Nation, if you haven't joined or you're new or anything like that, there's if you join Night Owl Nation and you log in, there's a part called Video Archive. And there's hundreds of videos in there that I've done over the last year, and they're all available for replay. Every single one of them are there. There's one about design. There's one about making carousels. There's one about copywriting. There's one about how to do social media. Any kind of fucking topic you can possibly think of is there. Okay, and if you pay $5 a month, you get access to all of that. But there's one called Storytelling Basics. It was from 2 days ago, Tuesday. Watch that one. That one alone is going to make you a phenomenal storyteller alone. So watch Storytelling Basics, and then after that, you just come join a small group and practice every week. That's all you need to do. Okay, Uncle Khalifa. We are going to sell our art as a poster after building community for a year. Give us one advice on how to give it value through storytelling. All love. Yeah, that's a perfect example, right? Because if you're selling art, at the end, they're buying you, right? They're buying you. They're not buying a specific product like to solve some problem. They're buying you because they're a fan of you, right? So the way I would do it is like, yeah, a lot of storytelling. Keep telling your personal stories. Even if you do an art, like maybe you do an art and you show the art, you're gonna you talk about the story behind it, like why you decided to do it, what made you do it, and again, join Night Owl Nation, because if you're in Night Owl Nation and you practice storytelling, you start learning how to connect the dots. You're gonna be able to connect the dots everywhere. Every time you talk about anything, you're gonna be able to tell like such a relatable story that's gonna get people to be like, oh shit, I felt that. Okay, let me buy. So definitely join Night Owl Nation if you wanna learn how to. Okay, last question. Bunch of styles. Do you like kimchi or kimchi jjigae? Yes, I love kimchi and I love kimchi jjigae. Thank you for asking that. Yeah, by the way, if you don't know, I'm Korean, so yeah, it's my hat says Night Owls. If you want to buy this hat, it's on my website under the merch page. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you. I'll see you again next week on Q&A, and have a great rest of the week. Cheers. Bye everyone. Bye.